Mulisha. Today I have an awesome podcast with a very special person, like super far away, bananally far away, and I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, if the thumbnail didn't give it away, but it's going to be rad. I'm super excited. So, I've never had to introduce someone before, so this is cool. Other than myself. But without further ado, guys, I want you guys to say hello to my co-host of this podcast, like episode 1, right? Bella. Hey, Bella. I think.
Okay. So, hey,
yes.
Bella. I am. I'm gonna go all classic. Like, I'm from Romania. Probably you're going to be wondering, like, how come I sound like this? But I think it's my years of, just listening to music and watching all of the Marvel movies. They're just fun. Super happy to be here. This is the first time I've ever done a podcast, and it's fun. My co-host here is amazing. All of these great questions. It's really awesome that we can share this with you and our opinions, and I'm really excited to see what you guys have to say, what your opinions are on this movie, and obviously the rest to come. I'm really excited to see what else Marvel comes up with. It's going to be amazing.
This movie was an amazing movie. I loved it. There was so much going on. I don't think I had to watch this movie twice, right, to digest it. And I have favorite scenes. I don't know if you have any favorite scenes, but of course, my favorite scene in this movie was the little team up scene on top of the Statue of Liberty. When they all do their like Spider-Man poses.
Yeah,
that was my favorite scene. I have multiple favorite scenes. It's so hard to pick, but that one was my one. And I guess we can kind of cheat on this. I'll pick another scene because there's so many. I realize how unfair it is to ask you to pick one scene.
I only watched it once, so I just got my idea on one scene.
One scene? Okay, I'll keep it one then, all right? So
yeah.
That scene is my one scene. What is the one scene that stuck out? What's your favorite scene out of this movie?
Favorite scene? Oh, so I think it's it's just like a normal thing when they show up.
Yeah.
When they actually show up through the portal.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, oh my god, it's him. Oh my god, it's him. They're gonna do so. Are they gonna do something? Are they like? I was waiting for the action. Like, is it just like just a camo? Is like, is that it? So
right.
I was like, okay, got it. I hope it happens. I hope something happens because I really want to see this. It's gonna be interesting. I've learned to love and expect surprises from Marvel, so I was just waiting for things to happen.
No, I mean, I get it. That is such an iconic scene when they do come out the portal. It's a hilarious scene too, because she's like, prove that you're Spider-Man, and he just like holds on to the ceiling, and that wasn't enough for her.
Spider web from the corner.
Yeah. That whole thing was so hilarious. That's a great scene. That's a perfect scene. I'm jealous that you picked that scene. Now I have to rethink my whole life. That is the greatest scene. I don't know why I didn't pick that one. That's a good one. That's great.
Well, the whole movie, like, I'm sure that if I rewatch it, I'm going to start seeing other things as well, but...
Oh yeah. For sure. I'm excited for whenever it gets released on, like, digital or whatever. What was the most jaw-dropping scene for you in that movie? And I've thought about this a lot up into this podcast because, man, it was like there was like so much that happened in that. But for me, the most jaw-dropping scene was when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man got stabbed, right? Because I was like, he's dead. I thought this was it.
I know.
I thought he was gone. I was like, he just got here and they're gonna kill him.
Seriously?
Yeah, I was like, oh no. So I thought that was like, I remember being like so frozen. I was like, no way. And I was like, damn it, Marvel, like you did it. You killed off my Spider-Man. But what was that for you?
Mine?
Yeah.
I had, like, my first thought was Aunt May.
Yeah.
But I then started to think a little bit about it, and again, relating to, you know, what happens in the movie and different situations. I think it's a pretty simple scene, but it just spoke to me. Is when Tom Holland is on the rooftop of like school or whatever, and MJ and his buddy come and hug him.
Yeah, yo, man.
Because me personally, all of my life, I've felt like an outcast. I've always been a different type of person. So one of the things that I've always wished was to have friends like that.
Right.
And like not just people, you know, hanging out and stuff, like real friends that really get you.
Right.
And that was such a vulnerable moment for him because he felt alone. You know, he had just lost his relative, the woman that cared for him, that supported him. He felt alone. He felt angry, and he had no control. He wanted to make things right, but he couldn't. And they show up. They knew where he was. They show up and they just hug him, and he starts crying. And I felt that. I felt like, God, I know what that feels like, because up until this year, I had never felt that, but I did. This year, I actually managed to find a really awesome group of friends that I can literally be myself. I can say all the stupid shit, thanks to them. And because they laugh with me at the things I do, I started posting reels on my Instagram and just being more myself. And I think that it's something that everyone in their life wants and needs, someone to just be there for you.
Right. Those are some great answers. That's so amazing. I'm just like, yeah. And you're just like, let's get deep.
I do that. I do. Sometimes I do get very serious about stuff, but I think that these movies, like Spider-Man, they all have a message, you know? It's not just about having fun and watching some actors say their lines. They really do help people connect, because it's why people actually go to see these movies, you know? They relate to them, to different characters, and it's important. Or it's how can I say, it's something that we dream of. I know I do. I've always wanted to be a superhero. I've always wanted to be able to help people somehow. So these movies really help me do that, you know?
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I dig it, and I love what you get from it and how you explain it to us, because like, you are so right. These movies are like, they are more than just like two people fighting on top of the Statue of Liberty. They have messages, and some people get them, some people don't, or some people interpret the message differently. And it's amazing that you're able to tell us your perspective, and that's just great. I dig it. A favorite villain in this movie is another question, and
Curious is your answer.
Yeah. So like, it's obvious for me. It's Green Goblin, right? I thought like, and it's not just because he's Green Goblin, he's Tobey's villain. It was just like, they took that character to like a whole new level. It's like their very first fight scene inside Happy's apartment.
Yeah. And
that was just like so extreme. Like, I've seen Tom Holland like fight through a lot of stuff, but like, I've had, it was such a struggle to see him, because, you know, like, he's fighting through a lot. He's trying to do what's right, and it's like both like, he's being tested mentally and physically, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like, this whole movie, especially in that fight scene between him and Green Goblin, like, I had to convince myself that he was gonna make it. So like, I had to rationalize with myself, like, okay, he's fought Thanos, he's fought aliens, he can make it through this. Like, cause like, that fight was just like crazy. And it's even crazier because it's like William Dafoe, and he's an older guy, and you're like, this fight scene's not gonna get that crazy. And it got that crazy. I mean, like, going through buildings or going through floors. And it was just like, I don't know if this Peter Parker is going to make it through that. So it was kind of interesting to see the Green Goblin kind of mentally and physically push Tom Holland's character, because although, yeah, he was snapped, Thanos at the end of the day really wasn't his problem. Like, it was an emotional issue between Tony Stark and Thanos, right? And so, so Peter Parker, Tom Holland, having him like pushed to that limit where he's like, he's trying to do the right thing, but this guy is not only not allowing him to do it, but he's taking away everything from him, and he's beating him with his strength and his brain power. So it's just like, damn, like the Green Goblin really like pushed him to his limits, and we got this Spider-Man now because of it. But it was just like, wow, this villain is like on a whole nother level. Like, I was just like, whoa.
I agree.
I'm like, wow.
I was gonna say the same thing. He's my favorite villain. First of all, the actor is absolutely amazing, and the way he goes from the villain to this guy who is just lost and doesn't know what's going on. I mean, the way he was switching between the characters, that takes a lot of talent.
Oh yeah.
And years of experience. And again, the fight scenes were amazing. Like, he kept pushing this guy down literally through every floor of the building. And then when he fought him in the park, I think it was a parking lot or something, or the entrance of the building.
Right.
And Aunt May, even though she got hurt, she knew what Tom was going through. And she continued to tell him that he's doing the right thing. That must have been so hard. Like, this villain actually pushed him to the point where he was so angry that he actually wanted to kill him.
Oof.
So, and I've never, I mean, imagine like you said with Thanos.
Right.
Thanos literally erased him from this, from being.
Yeah.
Yet when he came back, he didn't say, "Oh, I want to kill him." But with this guy, this got personal. And I know from personal experience that when something is personal, it is so hard to do the right thing. It's so hard to walk away, or even harder to try and cure the guy that just took everything away from you.
Right.
So it was amazing.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, like, to piggyback on what you said, like how he's going through the building, it just hit me just now. Like, he literally went through each floor. He literally pushed them down to his rock bottom moment.
Yeah.
Like, he hit rock bottom. He hit rock bottom.
Exactly.
Literally, yes. Like, oh, wow. The symbolism in film, right?
I'm a Virgo, so I'm going to see all of these things. I'm always going to study, even though at first, when I see something, if you ask me about it, I'm like, what happened? I can't remember.
Right.
But once I start, calming down and thinking about what I saw, it just hits me, like the metaphors and everything that they used to present the characters and just to make an awesome movie in the end. I mean, I was so surprised at all of the things that they were able to come up with, because it's really hard for a franchise to keep on delivering amazing movies. It's easy to get bored, but they somehow always get something new.
Yeah, like, if you think about it, like, I don't know how they do it. I mean, like, I think there maybe was like a 2-year gap between the last movie and this one. I mean, that featured Tom Holland, and like the fact that these movies are being like kind of like put out like one every like year or every other year. It's like, how do they find the time to like put these and they have so much meaning to them? It's so crazy.
And then it's combining the movies, like combining the heroes through different timelines. It just, I don't know. It amazes me. I'm super fascinated at this type of at Marvel. Like, I think it's my favorite, to be honest.
So, with this movie, like, where do you think it fits for you as far, like, in all the Tom Holland movies? So I'm talking like from Civil War all the way down to this. Like, how would you rank this as a Spider-Man movie? And like, I know for me, And like, so I guess you would have to include like Infinity War and Endgame, and like, oof, it's a tie for me. Like where I would put No Way Home, and like it's because No Way Home is like kind of, I want to rank it like my top Spider-Man movie. However, I think in Endgame, right, like just that moment between him and Stark at the end was just like,
God. Oh my God, that was heartbreaking.
Oh,
that was like, how can you do that? Like,
I know. And like, and that would, I would say that would be the beginning, right? That's like the beginning of like Tom Holland's Peter Parker experiencing loss, and then like this movie is just like, well, we're just taking everything, like everything you ever wanted, we're taking it away from you. But it's just hard to rank them for me. But I guess if it's my own question, so I guess I have to. I don't even know why I would put this question on there, but it is a question. But to me, I guess, geez, I am a huge fan of like, I'm a huge fan of Far From Home. I think that was my I'm a huge fan of that one, and that was just because of, you know, like all the emotional things Mysterio put him through. So like if I had to like rank it, I guess I would say like No Way Home, Endgame, and then, or not No Way Home, but Far From Home, Endgame, and then No Way Home. And I know it's like making it 3, but I just feel like those 2 movies before it for me were like, oof, iconic things for me. Like you just had to go through so much, and it's hard to place it. But no, I'm not saying that No Way Home isn't a great movie, because it is. But for me, I would have to rank those just because I felt like I saw Holland enjoy himself as Spider-Man in Far From Home. You know, he built his suit. He was kicking butt. He overcame his demons about like the survivor's guilt, right?
Yes. And in the end, when Happy gets him on the plane and he starts working on his suit.
Yeah.
The music and how he's just
right
as Tony did.
Yeah.
That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, so I think that was so great, because like Peter Parker, and I think that's the first time in Far From Home, that's the first time we see Peter like doing like Peter shit, is when he's like building that suit, because he is a brainiac, like, and he can do that stuff. And I don't think in like Homecoming, I think they had Ned doing all the techie stuff.
Yeah.
And then in this one, Far From Home, it's like he's building his suit, he's doing all the stuff, he's doing the things that I know Peter Parker to do. So yeah, that's my that's just my favorite one. And then of course, Endgame for the end scene, and the acting in that was just, oh my gosh, that's just amazing. And this new one was just great. And I just went on a freaking rant, and I apologize.
No, I totally get it. No, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
But I do agree. Like Far From Home is definitely my favorite out of all.
Yeah.
You get to see him with his classmates and all of that struggle of trying to, you know, keep a low profile, but in the same time, he kept being called for different missions, and it was just like it was difficult for him, especially because he's in love with this girl and he's trying to it's fun. And also because of these movies, I've actually started watching like different like interviews on Instagram or whatever I get to see, and the character is perfect for him. I mean, in real life, besides the accent, I think he is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The way he talks and the way, like, you know, he carries himself and how he treats people. Like you look at him, you look at Spider-Man, I was like, oh, it's the same person.
Oh yeah.
It's like when you watch Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr., it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't imagine someone else doing that.
I know, it's like, it's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah, Tom Holland is I can agree to that. Yeah, he's definitely Spider-Man. Like, yeah, man, you're so right. You're so right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit sad when you think about it. Like, for example, our Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember him. I'm sorry, but I can't. No. I've only seen the the only scene that I remember is because at some point I accidentally left my TV. It was by Spider-Man on, and Emma Stone, she was falling to her death. So I remember that one because in No Way Home, he actually kind of redeemed himself by saving MJ. So like you could like it was a really emotional scene, seeing him like crying because, oh man, I freaking did it. I finally did it. That was heartbreaking to watch. Other than that, I don't remember. I can't remember the villain.
That's so fine. Like he had. I love that you don't remember it, but the only thing you do remember was like the most traumatic scene from it. So that's great.
I think it's because again, I love the actress. Like Emma Stone is one of the people that I really, really enjoy watching. I've seen most of her movies, and she's just like so fun and so relatable. So it makes sense why I would remember that particular scene.
Yeah, his movies were just like they I guess a lot of people like his movies. I personally was not a fan at the time. Yeah, if you don't know they exist, I guess like you just don't know.
Yeah.
But it's so funny to me that you just didn't know about them. But yeah, they were okay. Oh. What's your puppy's name?
Fuzzy.
That's adorable.
Yeah, he's gonna want it on the action. So
awesome. No, that's so funny. No, his movies were okay. I think like there's a lot of like back from what I've read and gathered from his interviews and other people's interviews, there was like a lot of like studio interference, which made the movies more lackluster than they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I guess like that sucks. It sucks for him because he is like this really like classically trained actor. Like he went to like a really prestigious acting school in Europe somewhere. I forget where, but like it was supposed to be dope.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good. But what would you like? What would you like to see moving forward in the Spider-Man franchise? Like, what is like if you had a wish or I don't know, a want, like what do you want to see from like the future of this franchise? Like for me, it's so like I want to see this kid. I want to, even though I know it's probably not going to happen for a long time just because how they left it. I do want to see him and MJ kind of work out.
Yes.
I want that to happen. That's like selfishly, and I realize there's like a ton of writers who are probably in charge of this freaking story, and they have it all paced out. But selfishly, I want that to be fixed right away. I'm excited. I wonder if, because like the Venom symbiote is now in the MCU, so I just wonder if there's gonna be a new Eddie Brock, or if Flash Thompson would get the symbiote. It's like if Flash Thompson is MCU's version of Eddie Brock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So selfishly, I would love to see MJ work out, and then for Spider-Man's like next villain, what I want to see, I definitely want to see the Spider-Man Venom story told better than what Tobey Maguire's story did. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say that I want him and MJ to get back together. I was afraid to say it because I don't want to seem like just a girl.
No, man, I want it.
But I think it's like, they're just so good together, and she completes him. That's my opinion. And the fact that he's already alone and he sacrificed so much, it would be like such a big bonus for him to just at least have her.
Yeah.
So I'm just like super curious to see what happens next. especially after the last scene, like where they like, because then I started connecting the two movies when the whole Flash, like, went out in the world and everyone was forgetting about Spider-Man, and Eddie Brock goes and tries to find him, and it's just going to be interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be two superheroes, or one superhero, one villain. I like to be surprised. I like to see what happens. I don't know. I'm just a kid. I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, well, what's going on now? I'm not very pretentious. It just like to enjoy.
Most definitely. It's like, what we do know is that we want MJ back in his life. Everything else we'll just be surprised by. Just give us that.
Yeah, I don't want to expect stuff to happen because obviously it's out of my control, and
for sure,
just because I think something it would be interesting, that doesn't mean it necessarily is going to be, especially because they already have these things planned out. And I think I also heard I think there was an interview where Tom was saying that he actually wants to take a break from acting and focus on family and career and stuff, on family. Yeah. So it might be a while until we see another Spider-Man movie.
For sure. No, yeah, I guess I totally get that for him, because like this kid's been like knocking out films left and right. Like he's been
and he needs some space. I mean, at least personally, that's what I would do. Yeah. I would definitely take some time away, because at some point it just becomes too much. And when it becomes too much, you don't enjoy it anymore, and you start not being as good as you've been so far.
Right. And that's like one of those things. It's like I'm glad that like we're at this point in time where like actors are starting to realize like, okay, we gotta take a break. Because I know like so much of the name of the game is like, once you're hot, you've got to stay hot, right? Like there's no fucking time to like turn down a movie, because then like the next person might get that spot, But that's so cool, because like his spot is still this kid's Spider-Man. There's like, it's kind of one of those things, like there's just no other person to be him. So I think he has the room to like say, all right, guys, I just finished this. I'm gonna take as much time as I need to get back, and when I come back, I'll be like rejuvenated and ready to be your Spider-Man.
It's I think it's available in any kind of situations, like even for me in bodybuilding. Right. There's at some point it just becomes like a big pressure when people just like, they want to see you do your thing, but sometimes your body just says no. Right. You're tired mentally, you just can't keep up with everything and the sacrifices that you need to make in order to be competition ready. Obviously not a lot of people know it, so at some point you just got to be selfish. Definitely selfish. You need to think about yourself. I mean, it's not like there's a universal rule book that says, oh, you need to do 10 movies a year, or you're supposed to go compete in 5 competitions. No, you're supposed to do the things that make you happy. So if you're not happy doing this anymore, then who's going to stop you?
And on top of that, like him and like Zendaya are really like together, right? So it's good for them to like have that break to kind of go like, are we together because we want to be together, or are we together because we've been like in these films together, like doing these raw human emotions, and we've made this attachment, right? So like now you kind of get to like, let's just not do that and be together and see where we are. So I think that's like so amazing. But I just want to say thank you so much, Bella, for doing this freaking podcast with me.
No, thank you so much.
It's okay. He's here. Fuzzy's here.
He wants to play.
But
he did a bad thing today, so he wants my attention.
Oh, he did a bad thing today?
Yeah, he ate something from under the tree. He wasn't supposed to, so.
It happens. We have a puppy ourselves, and like she just literally like she destroyed like 2 ornaments, and I was like, oh well, you're a puppy. This happens. So I'm there with you. But yeah, again, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for.
Thank you so much.
This is going to be like our first episode, and there obviously will be more. So I dig it. I think it's great. Yeah. But for those who don't know, or like who want to know, like where can they find you? How can they follow you? What are your social media handles?
So I think it's easier. Like I've created a website that I can just put all of my links and everywhere that they can find me.
Okay.
It's called queenofsquats.com.
Okay.
And you can basically find my TikTok, my Twitter, Instagram, both Instagrams. I have the fitness part and the OnlyFans part. So depending on people, like what they're interested in seeing, I think it's the simplest way for them to get to know me better. Like they can message me. Always try to answer as fast as I can.
No, I get it. All right, so like for all you guys who do want to reach out to Bella, I'm going to go ahead and put her the Queen of Squats.com in the description below. So feel free to like click that and say like what's up, and follow her where you will. But yeah, so when the next episode will be, I'm not sure. We'll decide what we're going to talk about, but it's going to happen. And yeah, guys, as usual, I guess thanks for stopping by. Stay excellent, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm going to pass it to Bella. You want to say goodbye? You're over here, actually. So
yeah. So posting it so far. Yeah, this was just like really awesome. It's my first experience. It's fun to be able to share my passion with other people. I'm really excited to see what people have to say, comments, like, you know, what your favorite thing was. It's just nice to communicate, you know, in the end. And it's actually one of the first times in my life that I'm happy that internet exists. Obviously people don't know, I'm all the way in Romania. So
all the way.
This internet made it possible.
All right, guys. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to go over to Bella's website and subscribe and follow her there, please. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Stay excellent.